Thank you, Mark. Welcome to the campus of Boston College. We are ready for the SEC ACC Men's Challenge presented by Continental Tire. BC and South Carolina meeting for the first time in 13 years. And this is ACC Network Basketball presented by T. Rowe Price. Hi, everybody. It is great to have you with us with Malcolm Huckabee. I'm John Mita Perrell. BC is 6-2. Malcolm off to their best start in 6 years. South Carolina coming off a win over Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and an opportunity, though, for both of these programs to advance the cause for March, playing for their respective conferences, SEC versus the ACC. Huge implications that will ring in March.
Two influential players will be watching all night. Our Star Watch, Colin Murray-Boyles, is one of the best players in the country.
Last season, all-freshman team in the SEC. He led his team in rebounding last year as well, too, as a freshman. He's a guy that is one of the better players in college basketball, as you said. Key matchup for Boston College. And then on the other side, Donald Hand Jr. has been outstanding for Earl Grant and the Eagles. 14 points per game, close to 8 boards, and he's already got 3 double-doubles on the season.
And let's face it, BC was very disappointed coming off their loss to Dartmouth on Friday. Dartmouth team that's in the bottom half of the Ivy League. You have to win those type of games. You were on moments ago with ACC PM. I heard you talk about it. For the ACC to garner respect, they need those wins.
Yeah, this is a huge game and opportunity, again, for both of these teams. But I think for the ACC, some of the early numbers, they're going to have a good showing in this challenge.
Good pass inside and quickly right off the top. It's Colin Murray-Boyles. That's a terrific pass by Jamari Thomas. He was a huge portal pickup for Lamont Harris. The BC starting 5 with Kelly Brown, Hand, Strong, and Venning up front. Chad Venning, the St. Bonaventure transfer. So the big men getting involved early.
Yeah, early on, both teams trying to get the ball in the paint. Good execution and patience that time by Boston College.
Thomas was the MEAC Player of the Year at Norfolk State last year. Murray-Boyles, a cerebral player, and he takes it. Chaz Kelly, BC backcourt. Thinning ranks for BC after they lost nearly 88% of their point production off of last year's NIT squad. Venning has the first 4 points of the game.
Well, he was a huge pickup, though. The St. Bonaventure transfer, again, you talked about it, some of the losses for Boston College. Quentin Post, one of the better bigs to play at Boston College, playing in the NBA. Venning, though, is a true back-to-the-basket big. Again, right here, you can see the ball movement by Boston College, getting it into paint for Venning. Again, nice little reverse pivot. Nice soft touch that time for the big fella.
Yeah, Venning's a tough matchup for anybody. It's 6'9", 270 pounds. South Carolina scouting report for Lamont Paris, the reigning SEC Coach of the Year. 80 points per game and 4 wins this year, and good production. They spread it around well, Malcolm, and you know, it's one of those teams that's still trying to find an identity. We'll be saying that a lot tonight.
Yeah, both these coaches, when we talked to them, they talked about trying to find and figure out, obviously, the rotations, but then obviously with some new faces and guys in different roles that they played last year. They're still trying to figure it out mode.
Hand to take to Kelly. Deep 3. And Boyles has the rebound. Kelly has to develop a better outside shot.
That was a good contest, though, that time.
South Carolina will look to hit the 3 as well. They were 11 for 32 from distance against Virginia Tech in their 10-point win. And Lamont Paris told us they had many open looks. It was funny how Paris said, you know what, there were 27 threes that I probably could have made.
And that's the key thing, though. They've had good looks. He's been pleased with the ball movement, just unable to convert. And Boston College, though, continues to feed Venning, and he has delivered. That's 6 straight buckets for Chad Venning, the St. Bonaventure transfer.
Murray-Boyles from distance. He's got it. Impressive shot by Colin Murray-Boyles. 17 for 24 from the field in his last 3 games. That's his 3rd 3 in his last 4. So not known to hit the three-point shot. And a foul. Our referees are Bert Smith, A.J. Desai, and Kip Kissinger. BC's scouting report for Earl Grant in his 4th year. Yeah, they're off to a terrific start. Also getting the line, 5th in the ACC, but not much respect in the preseason poll.
Yeah, but again, both these teams, you look at what South Carolina did last year. They were picked dead last, and they went on and made an NCAA tournament run. So, again, preseason means nothing. You have a chance to prove folks wrong.
South Carolina dream run. That was their longest run in the tournament since Frank Martin's 2017 Final Four squad. Martin now the coach at UMass. Donald Hand the fadeaway. And Jamari Thomas secures it. Push against Dion Brown. And he draws contact for Brown, the Maryland-Baltimore County transfer, and BC expected a lot out of him.
And this right here, nice move by Thomas, using his frame. Again, it goes about 5'10", but he has got strong lower body. That time, a nice use getting to the free throw line. And that's going to be key. We talked to Earl Grant about that, keeping Thomas out of the paint. You talked about it, the Norfolk State transfer, MEAC Player of the Year, and he means so much to this offense. That's going to be a key theme we watch for Boston College. Can they keep him out of the paint?
Yeah, and he's definitely a stalwart on the defensive end with 1.4 steals per game, so he can pretty much do it all as he hits 1 out of 2 at the line. And Fred Payne is inserted into the BC lineup, number 5 in white. He's been an influencer off their bench, providing a dose of offense. Elijah Strong, much improved offensive player, but called for an offensive foul. Questionable or no?
Yeah, this is his great job of sliding your feet right here again. Yeah, he's there. Again, that's a textbook. They're playing gaps. That's what South Carolina wants to do. When we spoke with Earl Grant, he said, look, we have to get a couple of ball reversals. Again, we need to be patient offensively. The South Carolina does a good job trying to keep you out of the paint.
And a terrific block on the weak side. Here come the Eagles. Good opportunity for South Carolina. Fenning. The drive by Hand. Kelly for 3. And out of bounds. That will bring us to our first media timeout. BC with some sturdy defense in the post.
Well, early on, we've seen some great ball movement and some great defense. Fenning with the denial. We got a tie game.
Welcome back inside Connie Forum. South Carolina and BC tied at 6 in the early going. SEC ACC Men's Challenge. Don't forget you can join the fight at beat.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes to cancer research. B-Week on ESPN, a very special time.
It is, and shout out to Vicky V, one of the warriors in terms of raising money and awareness for cancer. And I think the key thing is 100% of the proceeds of money raised goes to cancer research.
Murray Boyles trying to back in on Venning, who has all 6 Eagle points. Jamari Thomas, the look. Loose ball on the baseline off of South Carolina. It's off of Stute. Miles Stute, the Vanderbilt transfer, and he can be lethal from 3. When he hits 3-pointers consistently, they usually win.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be a key for Boston College in the scouting report. They must find him, and back to that previous 3 by Thomas again. Coach Bears talked about that. They've had some good looks, just unable to get the ball to drop, and then right here, like a legal screen, moving screen, called on Chaz Kelly.
First on Kelly and the 3rd on the team. So both teams are feeling out process in the first 4.5 minutes. It's Payne, eyes Thomas. Eagles have been majority man-to-man in the early going. Davis for Stute. Hand grabs the rebound.
Well, another pretty clean look. You have to be pleased if you're Coach Paris. Again, that's a good look coming off ball movement, and again, just a missed opportunity.
Venning aggressive, just in front of the elbow. And the active Murray Boyles, who plays the angles. That's the thing that Lamont Paris told us. He has natural ability, but his instincts are off the charts.
Textbook pick and then hit the roller. That is beautiful basketball. The help side was late by Boston College, and my goodness.
Fantastic. That's why he's on the radar of many NBA teams.
Screen and then roll. And I think that's a under-talked about thing right here. Oh, my goodness. Colin Murray Boyles almost rips off the rim. And again, if you're Boston College, you take a look at this young man. Leads the SEC. He's so efficient. You look at last year's numbers. First team, all freshman team. And he's a guy, again, that is going to play for a very large paycheck when he leaves. So versatile, can do so much. And that right there, though, is what he is doing well. He just goes and grabs the ball on the defensive and offensive glass.
First foul moments going, Jamari Thomas. Stute the deep three. And Venning wins the rebound.
Venning has been equally as impressive in the paint, rebounding and then also establishing himself in the post offensively.
Yeah, that's his third rebound, 3 of the 7 for BC. Joshua Beadle. McFarland, Southeast Louisiana transfer, can't hit. And it's out of bounds. Chad Venning has been sort of on both ends of the floor, but the big number there is the 1.6 blocks, Malcolm. If you can give him that, BC's in good stead.
Yeah, again, that was a question coming in. How to replace Quentin Post, an all-ACC type player for Boston College, drafted last year, and Chad Venning has been the answer. Again, he has been impressive for Boston College. I think the big thing is he's different from how Post played. He was more a pick and pop. Venning is a true traditional big that gives him that pressure, that presence in the post offensively.
South Carolina likes to go side to side. They'll overload the floor on one side and then hit the other side for an open jumper. Ugasuk off the mark. He's a good scorer off their bench. He had 4 threes against Virginia Tech. Stute maneuvering in the paint, but a foul. It's on Dion Brown.
And right here again, Brown. And it looks like, ooh, okay. Again, now they got Brown on that one. Boston College bench and Earl Grant not happy with that call.
Second on Brown. Easy path to the basket. They had a breakdown on defense. Jacoby Wright, the beneficiary.
Yeah, that's just too easy. Nobody, he was almost shocked that he was so open for that layup. Again, great screening by South Carolina.
It's a deliberate offense for the Gamecocks as Venning takes it again. Boy, he's off to a fantastic start. That's his 8th point.
And the previous 2 possessions, South Carolina doubled. That time they decide to stay home with Butler, and again, they may have to change that strategy again, go double or at least dig, offer some help when Venning gets the ball in the post.
Davis, left-handed bump. But Venning dominating the BC offense.
And they're doing a great job again, spacing. If they don't come help, that's a beautiful spin move that time by Venning. Again, just felt the defender on him and then spun to the baseline. That's a quick move.
Davis at the line after the second foul on Elijah Strong. And you look at Venning and his career at St. Bonaventure, his second-team All-Atlantic 10 last year. He scored over 1,100 points in his career, so his offense may be quiet, but he still has it in his game as he goes to the bench for Earl Grant.
Well, this young man at the free throw line for South Carolina has been huge. He was great off the bench in their win against Virginia Tech. 12 points, 7 rebounds in 27 minutes. And An excellent defender as well, too. Very versatile. And that's something Coach Paris talked about. He has gotten great bench production.
Zachary Davis also had 18 against Mercer in their win November 21st. Beadle with 8 to shoot. Off a curl, it's McFarland. Jaden Hastings. They have bright hopes for, but he coughs it up.
South Carolina doing an excellent job of being disruptive with Boston College's offense. They're playing in the gaps, and then they're not allowing cutters, and they're doing a good job on any ball screens or pin downs.
Too strong with the 3 is Butler. Transfer from Missouri. Beadle directing traffic. McFarland. Fade away. And Hastings wins the 50-50, and he dunks it home.
That's a big-time offensive rebound and putback. And speaking with the staff, he's made plays like that, and he's benefited from going up against Fenning every day. But Ugasuk answers. And that one was deep.
Yeah, he can do that. Ugasuk, another one of those double-digit scorers off of Lamont Paris's bench. So South Carolina with a 4-point lead, but Murray Boyles, Malcolm Huckabee love this one. Then on the other end, Jaden Hastings says, yeah, I could do that too, as the Gamecocks lead by 4 in Chestnut Hill. ACC men's basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. With Malcolm Huckabee, I'm Shamita Perel. Chill outside, 35 degrees in the Boston area, but they're warm inside. And South Carolina with its largest lead of the game. How have they made it happen?
Well, a couple things. Again, they've set screens. I know it's under talk about things in basketball games, but they have set some very good screens to free up guys for either open jumpers or screens and then rolls. Boston College has got to do a better job with their help side defense. Then on the other side, Boston College, it's really been all Chad Fenning. He's on the bench right now getting a rest, but they've done a nice job feeding him in the post.
Hey, Grant told us it wasn't so much about South Carolina, it was about BC, the thing that he was concerned about. As Elijah Strong hits a triple, and he doesn't know how this team deals with adversity yet. They're dealing with it in the aftermath of a Dartmouth loss.
Yeah, again, a game where Dartmouth made 17 threes and a little bit of a letdown in that game after coming off the Cayman Islands Classics win.
The second annual SEC ACC Basketball Challenge continues tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday night. Men's and women's lineup right here on ACC Network. Some terrific games going on right now. Miami over Arkansas by 3, and Georgia with a 7-point lead over Notre Dame. Tringle at the line, the Alabama transfer, with a 1-1.
Last year it was a 7-7 tie, and we talked a little bit about the implications of this, in particular for the ACC, the importance of this challenge. Again, there's always been this narrative out there, who has the best conference. ACC with a big opportunity to try to prove some of the narrative that's out there wrong.
Need 9 wins to clinch the SEC ACC Men's Challenge. Important few nights of basketball for both conferences. A month in for a long season. Beadle the hop, skip, and a jump. But the rebound engulfed by Murray Boyles.
But if you're Earl Grant, again, you like that. That's 2 possessions now. Your guards have been able to get into the paint.
Good ball movement as Wright hits the 3. The man who passed it to him was Cam Scott, who was a two-time South Carolina State Player of the Year, scored over 2,400 high school points.
Yeah, they are so high on them, and that's a great read. Get rid of the ball, make that reversal. That's something Coach Paris talked about. We have to flip the court, get the ball moving left to right. Excellent offense that time in the half court by South Carolina.
Kobe Wright averaging 12 points. That's his fourth triple in the last 4 games. Here comes Murray Boyles with a steal. Good defense in the post by Strong to frustrate him. Beto behind the back. 3 by Strong. Bit overzealous, but tracked down by Kelly.
Well, one of the things South Carolina is doing a good job of is they're not allowing many ball reversals for Boston College or paint touches. Again, Venning on the cusp of coming back into this game, but that's what they've done. They've played gaps, and then they've tried to confuse and keep Boston College out of the paint. On the other end right here, this is just great ball movement. Again, ball went left to right. You can't ask for better half-court execution. End result, a wide-open 3.
And the 5th turnover on the other end for BC. South Carolina averaging 12 turnovers per game. BC at 12 TOs per game, but that's an ugly number in the first 12 minutes for the Eagles.
A lot of that credit, again, to South Carolina.
Thomas. Murray Boyles front Strong. Double team by McFarland. Threw it into no man's land. And that's the second Gamecock turnover. And what happened on that play?
That's a beautiful double that time by McFarland. And again, you talked about it. When you double, you need to double hard and come high, hands high. Try to make that post entry pass, or the post pass going out of the post harder. That time, Boston College executed excellent. Again, right here, ball's going in. They know they're doubling. Now watch how he comes with his hands high. Again, make that pass a little bit higher. Good ball pressure. End result, turnover.
Hey, take him to work. Venning going to work. Back in the ball game. Pringle on the fadeaway. Boy, he is confident. That's a tough shot.
Well, they're going to have to double. Again, they started off the game playing him straight up. This is just kind of an old school move right here. Take my time. I'm going to back you down, get to my spot, spin off, and one. Early on, Chad Venning has really been unstoppable. He's been able to get to his spots. That time, the little fadeaway jumper. Other times, he's come off some actions and caught the ball 2 feet in the paint. Again, right now, that has been the best part of Boston College's offense.
Second foul on Pringle. He does not complete the three-point play. I think also impressively, he works hard. He was in the gym after the Dartmouth game with Jaden Hastings, and it was a Venning school-like setting. He said, hey, Jaden, here's what you have to do as a big man. They're in the gym an hour and a half after that game as Pringle converts, and he'll have an N1 opportunity. So Nick Pringle, well done. Venning voices contention, but we will take a timeout. South Carolina up by 6. Our ACC network groups will be in Charlotte for the ACC championship game between Clemson and SMU. Preview coverage begins Friday afternoon at 3 Eastern with inside access, followed by ACC PM and ACC Huddle. Then on game day, we'll have you covered before, during, and after the game. Should be a beauty between the Tigers and the Mustangs after Miami went down to Syracuse at the JMA Wireless Dome on Saturday. Chad Venning, some instructions for McFarland, but South Carolina's largest lead at 6. They're moving the ball well, aren't they?
They really are. They're shooting a high clip from the floor, but I think on the other end for Boston College, they're really contesting, pressuring the ball for Boston College. Right now, Boston College 1 of 5 from the three-point line, 20%. Chad Venning, though, has been the bright spot for Boston College.
So Pringle completes the three-point play. Here comes the Eagles across the timeline with Chaz Kelly. Donald Hand and McFarland in the backcourt with him, with Venning and Strong up front. Fadeaway off the mark and out of bounds. Off of Pringle. Ugasuk checking back in for Lamont Paris. And there's Earl Grant, always Natalie attired.
Well, he's done an excellent job last season, NIT for Boston College. They're trying to build off of that.
Good drive by Kelly, and somehow got it to go.
And they're going to need more of that. Right now, again, South Carolina not much allowing much ball reversal, so they're going to either have to get guys in high ball screens or guys are going to have to make individual plays like that by Chaz Kelly.
First two of the night for Kelly, who's from Houston. Murray Boyles. Jamari Thomas. Three off the line. Good ball handling by Kelly with the fadeaway. Pringle industrious off the glass. Thomas. A C open for him, didn't it?
Yeah, that's just poor transition D that time by Boston College. Guys were reaching. Again, you need to slide, get over. Earl Grant talked about that this afternoon with us at shoot-around. There needs to be a wall right there. He needs to see bodies when he gets into the paint.
Thomas has three. Penning. Good track down by McFarland. Strong. Elijah Strong not shy on the offensive end.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good look. Again, great hustle to come up with that loose ball, but South Carolina continues to execute offensively. Again, I've been impressed with their spacing, ball movement, and player movement.
Also high-low. Terrific pass by Pringle to Murray Boyles. And we have a timeout. We will take a 30-second timeout. Largest lead for the Gamecocks at 9 at Chestnut Hill. So South Carolina in command. 9-point lead with 5:44 left, but great ball movement as well, Malcolm.
Yeah, right here, cleaning up the defensive glass. And then this right here, again, for Boston College, a little rub screen, but that cannot happen. There needs to be better transition D for Boston College. Earl Grant not happy with that right there. And early on right now, credit South Carolina. Again, their defense really, with the exception of Venning for Boston College, they've done a good job being disruptive.
Lamont Paris building an identity in his third year, 9 games over 500. And we were so impressed with his attitude, his outlook, the way he can hold this team from a culture standpoint. Very optimistic about everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, last year, the run they went on pick, not to do much in the SEC, and all he does is go on to be coach of the year in the SEC, get to the NCAA tournament. I'd say plan ahead of schedule if you're a South Carolina fan.
Three by Kelly, beating the shot clock. Good position by Thomas, who has the rebound. Gamecocks shooting 47%, but a travel.
And that's all set up, though. Chaz Kelly doing a great job denying that little dribble handoff. Again, giving South Carolina a little dose of what they've done to Boston College. Again, trying to be disruptive with their offensive flow.
Eagles 1 for 7 on three-pointers. Graphic a moment ago tells the story. 7 assists on 9 field goals for South Carolina. Roger McFarland. He was prolific at times at Southeast Louisiana. Too strong with the lay-in. Here comes Murray Boyles. Thomas for Ugasuk. Baseline take. Oh, man, as he get off the glass. Murray Boyles just going to work as he picks up the foul. And that's why we talked to Lamont Paris about his NBA draft prospects. If he is a lottery pick, he says, you know what, it's worth going.
Well, right here, again, look at that first step right there, quick. Little up fake, and then this is what he does so well. A rebound of the ball. Coach Paris shared a funny story. When he got the job, he did not have an offer from South Carolina. Went and saw him play and immediately fell in love. And the rest is history in terms of what this young man has done. SEC all-freshman team, led his team in rebounding as well, too, in the rugged SEC.
And he overcame mono last year. So it was a tough start for him, coming back to his hometown to play after going to Wasatch Academy in Utah. And you're right, just flew under the radar, and Lamont Paris said, you know what, come here and we will make you an outstanding player, at least try to, and certainly well on his way to that. As the Eagles regain possession.
Well, both these coaches do a great job in the player development. We talked earlier about the job that Earl Grant did with Quentin Post.
Yeah,
Post again came here, continued to get better each year that he got here, and turned into a NBA draft pick. So key in this environment now, still to focus on player development.
BC has missed its last 6 field goal attempts. Ugasuk, nice feed to Murray Boyles. He's feasting on the post.
And it's all set up, though. The South Carolina spacing. They're just spreading the floor out. They're moving the ball. Guys are cutting. And then they're getting excellent dribble drives to really just create havoc for the BC defense.
It's a methodical offense, but an effective one when it's cranked up. Last year, 351st in possessions per game and only 63. Steal. Davis in transition. And a foul on Joshua Beadle. So it's been a struggle for BC, but South Carolina has some confidence.
Well, John, the South Carolina defense really has been impressive. Right here, look at this double, and then they close out. Look at the gap containment right here. Again, guys are in the gap. They cut down dribble drives, but then when there is a breakdown, guys are right there in the gap. That's textbook defense. That's something we talked with Earl Grant about in shoot-around. He said, look, we're going to have to be good screeners in this game and try to get out in transition before this half-court defense of South Carolina can get set up.
The Eagles careless with the ball with 6 turnovers. Also 10 fouls now on BC with Davis at the line. Earl Grant is happy with the depth he has. He says he can bring 5 guys in that probably won't miss a beat. That happened to them in the Cayman Islands when they won that tournament. Every game, they utilized the bench to their advantage.
They have, but right now, though, the biggest issue they're having is trying to break down this South Carolina D. It starts right here. Thomas's ball pressure really has been problematic. They sped BC up, and then also when they've gotten any ball reversals, they've done a nice job closing down gaps. Boston College really struggling from the floor.
Beadle coming off a 19-point night against Dartmouth in their loss. That was a career high. Played 65 games at Clemson before going in the portal. 31 in black is Bozeman's Verdonk. He's a great story. He's in his 3rd year at law school in Columbia, and he already has a job at one of the most prestigious law firms in the country in Chicago. And Lamont Paris says he's a Renaissance man.
Well, hopefully, again, this young man is going to go on and do some great things as you take a look at his continued work right on cue. He could not rave more about what he has meant to this program, has done everything right, and as you said, going to go on and do great things when he's done playing basketball.
Yep, and had the upper hand in the post. So the Eagles in search of a spark. Payne with Hastings. He's playing his 8th college game. He's redshirted last year. Deep 3 by Fred Payne. And here come the Gamecocks. Davis. Stute usually hits those.
You can't ask for a better look.
Yeah. Payne transition. Too strong, though. Stute going down hard. Wow. And you heard that reverberate everywhere around the arena.
And again, hope that he is okay. That is a hard fall, but the defense continues to be an issue, or the story for South Carolina, as he's able to get up. And
thankfully,
that's a good sign for South Carolina. But again, right here, this is just great transition defense. They're getting down. Boston College trying to set and push the pace before they can get set. There's really nowhere to go.
BC's missed its last 9 shots, so Miles Stute, the Vanderbilt transfer, at the line. 38% on threes last season, also double figures in 13 games.
He came into this season 227 career threes already, and that's what he was brought here to do. Again, he's a guy that will stretch the defense, proven scorer and shooter.
Foul was reviewed. 2 shots for Stute. So the minute 40 remaining until halftime. Eagles got to dig down deep for them to claw back in this game, and offensive production has been minimal.
Well, I think starts with the screening as Earl Grant going to his bench, but again, I think it starts with the screening and then trying to get out in transition. It's hard to get out in transition when you're not getting stops. And then when you do get into your half court, Earl Grant talked about this, they're going to have to be more patient. But make no mistake about it, the South Carolina defense has been impressive thus far in this first half.
After the foul on Payne and the 2 makes by Stute, Luka Taves, they're high on him, point guard. Lived in Tokyo for a while. His brother was on the Japanese Olympic team. He's the cousin of Jonathan Taves, a former Chicago Blackhawks star. Led them to a Stanley Cup. Chad Penning. Unorthodox shot. And away from the ball, contact.
South Carolina foul number 5.
Here's Saturday afternoon's ACC Network men's basketball triple header. BC takes on Wake Forest at noon Eastern. Number 20 North Carolina hosts Georgia Tech. Cap the afternoon with Stanford-Cal rivalry game. Should be 3 excellent ones right here on ACCN. Always jam-packed with Saturday afternoon basketball. Foul on Miles Stute, his second. Try to sort it out at the scorer's table with a quick stoppage in play. But the defense of South Carolina has been outstanding now.
It really has, and they've forced Boston College to run their offense really out on the perimeter. They're making it difficult for Boston College to even do dribble handoffs, any pin downs. They're doing an excellent job, again, not allowing Boston College to run their offense.
Yeah, consider over the last 6.5 minutes, they've outscored the Eagles 14-2. Beadle was going to inbounds. Now it will be Taves. High entry for Elijah Strong. Beadle runs into a double, reverses the floor. And off the bounce. But before the bucket, a foul. They wave off the make. It's on Zachary Davis. First on Davis.
And that might be their best possession probably in the last 5-minute stretch. Again, nice pass that time. Excellent ball reversal, and then I like what Hand did there. Again, you got to be aggressive playing through contact.
That Hand has been consistent, but not good enough against Dartmouth. Their best players did not perform well. That's why, large reason why they lost by 5 points. Also, their defense was pretty much non-existent from the three-point arc.
Yeah, that really probably was the story of that ball game. Again, right now, this is huge for Boston College. It seems like they've been stuck on 17 for a long time. And this is their first point, BC, in 6+ minutes. So, again, Earl Grant looking for anything positive to try to go into the half.
And there's 2 for Hand. GC's leading scorer. on the season, but not this evening. Chad Venning has 10. That's the first 2 for Hand. Strong has 3, and Kelly has 2, and Hastings has 2. That's all she wrote. Murray Boyles. Thomas blocked by Venning, but out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock.
Well, that's something that Venning has provided, rim protection for Boston College. And right here, great job sliding his feet and denying what looked like it was going to be an easy 2.
Murray Boyles, good body position, and an N1 on Elijah Strong. The foul. Murray Boyles, he's an angled player. By that, Malcolm, he knows exactly where to go on the floor.
And it's all set up. The screen, again, South Carolina has been excellent in screens. Look at this right here. Screen, no communication, though. And that right there, again, needs to be taken over. The inbounder probably needs to be more on the ball, so that pass is not so easy. But South Carolina continues to execute. That time, out of bounds underneath.
They build on their largest lead. Now 17 points. Murray Boyles in the first half, a double-double. It's been a walking double-double. He has 14 and 10. And a travel. Got Anstey in the lane, and South Carolina collapsed.
They're just not allowing any dribble drives again, and then their guys are playing their gaps. They're being disciplined, and on the screens again, they're just really being aggressive, fighting over any ball screens, dribble handoffs, or pin downs.
Shot clock off. Thomas waiting. Guarded by Beadle. Osmans Verdonk versus for Murray Boyles. And that will do it. South Carolina dominant. BC trailed by 5 with 7:18 left. South Carolina closes the half on a 14-2 run.
Dominant defensive performance by South Carolina. Boston College 13% from the three-point line and 29 from the floor. They got a lot of work to do to regroup in half.
At halftime at County Forum, let's send you back to the studio. Here's Taylor Tannenbaum. Take it away, Taylor. Welcome back to the campus of Boston College for the SEC-ACC Men's Challenge, presented by Continental Tire. BC big man Chad Venning with 10 of their 19 points.
Yeah, he was impressive in the first half for Boston College. When he had his opportunities, took his time. He really was the only bright spot for Boston College in that first half. Then on the other side, this guy right here, Murray Boyles, was just impressive. Pick and roll. It was an offensive clinic into half court.
It's ACC Network basketball presented by T. Rowe Price. Halftime stats, not a pretty sheet for Boston College. Conversely, the stingy defense by the Gamecocks.
Yeah, credit them again. They did a great job being disruptive. Earl Grant talked to us about their team's going to have to be better screeners against this South Carolina team. I think also get some backdoor cuts, but you have to screen well to try to free these guys up. See if you can get stops defensively and get out in transition before the South Carolina D can get set up.
How do you slow down Murray Boyles?
Well, I think it starts with containing dribble drives, but then their rotation on the back end has to be better. South Carolina, watch how they screen. I think, though, this is key, how Boston College starts the first 5 minutes of this second half to try to get back into this game.
And right off the bat, a stoppage.
And I don't think the clock started.
It did not. Officials are Bert Smith, A.J. Desai, and Kip Kissinger. As Dion Brown will inbound, right in front of us. Brown, the transfer from University of Maryland, Baltimore County, was prolific there, averaging 19 points per game. But his offense has been slow to develop at the ACC level.
Well, they're going to need him again Boston College lost 80% of their scoring. Obviously, again, that's a lot of production. They brought guys in, and they're going to need all these guys. Again, the good news is in the first half, Venning, bright spot. The bad news is nobody else was able to get anything done, and then defensively, they really struggled slowing down South Carolina in their half-court sets.
A shot clock malfunction to start the second half, but ACC success, you cannot deny it. The most Final Four appearances, NCAA tournament wins in the last 9 years, and love the fact, if you're an ACC fan, you have to love that bottom line. 6 different ACC schools reaching the Final Four since 2016.
Yeah, I think, look, postseason success has been really good. Early on, though, the numbers do not look good for Boston College, ACC schools in the early goings of this season. Again, opportunity with this challenge to try to change some of those numbers and also the narrative.
Yeah, and you've heard it. You had an interview with Mark Packer and company at ACCPM. They asked you about it. It's been rough sledding in the first month for the ACC, but you can turn that around. You win 9 of these ACC, SEC games, you're right back where you had them.
Well, we always overreact. We love that, right? Again, you know, you look at the teams around, look at what's going on with UConn. They lose a couple of games. Oh, my God, now all of a sudden, you know, you always have that overreaction where it's early.
Right.
And there's a lot of new faces. Again, we talked about it. All these teams are dealing with it. The turnover, the roster turnover, guys that were in different positions and also roles now are taking on bigger roles as we take a look at the scoreboard and this SEC ACC challenge.
Tennessee with a 11-point lead over Syracuse. They're going to the backup system for the shot clock. They'll keep the time on the floor. Now we're back on operative systems. All systems go. Did you press a button, Malcolm?
I don't have those powers.
Well, maybe you plugged it back in, as our producer Russ Kent just chimed in. Whatever you did, it was good. Chaz Kelly at the elbow is deflected. Fouls on Jacoby Wright, his first. So 21 seconds in, we're back into live action. He's Malcolm Huckabee. I'm John Meade-Perrell. Thanks for joining us on ACCN. Hope you've enjoyed it thus far.
Watch how aggressive South Carolina is going over ball screens, and then how aggressive they are attacking of the ball. Let's see if they double Venning.
This is the fadeaway by the big fella. Weak side rebound. Strong almost had it pulled away by Wright. Gamecocks 4-3 record coming off a 10-point win over Virginia Tech. They hit 11 of 32 threes. Good drive by Murray Boyles. What a take. Head up always and confident on the baseline.
And spacing, but then that's a matchup they wanted. Boyles versus Venning. They just isolated him on the wing, let him go to work.
His numbers are plentiful. He has 16 points. Second double-double of the season already. Venning with the hook shot. Snaps a string of 11 missed field goal attempts by the Eagles.
Well, it just seems like they're working hard for every bucket. And then on this end, South Carolina getting high percentage looks and really with less resistance.
Pass gets away from Stute and adeptly lets it roll out of bounds.
Again, right here, again, they just ISO. The help is not there. And then he just has a quick first step. That's a tough matchup for Venning out on the perimeter. And again, that's what Murray Boyles does. And for some opposing bigs, he is going to pose a lot of matchup problems.
Look out, Strong in the air, and he traveled. 8 turnovers for BC. They average 12 per game.
Well, again, that's just really all set up because of South Carolina's defense. Again, looked like they were going to have an easy bucket, and South Carolina recovers, comes up with a turnover.
Swarming defense by the Eagles. Flummox Jamari Thomas on the drive. Here comes Strong. But an offensive foul.
And this is just frustration right here. Again, they've done such a good job denying. Fenning is just trying to barrel his way down the lane, and right in front of the ref, really easy for them to call.
It's 3 fouls on Chad Venning. South Carolina's had the lead for more than 16.5 minutes. But a steal by Chaz Kelly, denying the lane. Kelly will take the 3. And Thomas there. You love his aggressiveness, don't you?
He really is a good rebounding guard. He's been a huge pickup for South Carolina. Norfolk State transfer, and he has manned that point guard position. He's defended. I think his defense at the point really has been disruptive for Boston College, and an acrobatic finish that time by Pringle. High-low post passing that time, and he made that reverse look easy. That was a tough finish.
Nifty big man. Great footwork. That's 10 assists on 14 field goals for the Gamecocks. And Stute comes away with it. Frustration continues to mount for the Eagles offense. They've missed 4 out of 5 to start the second half. They're shooting 28%. Good pass in the post. Thomas, but blocked by Kelly. And a foul.
Well, this right here, again, textbook. Ball's moving left to right, big on big screen, and then dump it off. The finish. Again, they're just getting everything easy at the paint, or they're getting open looks on the other end. They're really, again, it's just as simple as they're making it difficult. They're giving Boston College nothing easy. Again, it goes back to you got to set better screens, try to get out in transition if you can get some stops, but you're going to have to be better executing if you're Boston College in your half court.
Hand, nice left-handed take by Donald Hand. That's the blow by, and Hand has that in his arsenal.
Yeah, and they're going to need more of that. But again, South Carolina is going to continue to be patient and run their offense.
The volume scorer in the second half to start the year for Donald Hand. Much better production for him. And that air ball draws some ire as Hand 10.5 per game in the second half compared to that 3.5 the first half. What is that, just fluky?
Well, I tell you, right now, again, in this game in particular, they spent so much time trying to get open offensively. Again, they just wore them out, South Carolina. Now, they're going to need more of offensive possessions like that, trying to chip away. Now the lead by South Carolina down to 15.
Deion Brown, his first bucket of the night. Thomas, good pass to Pringle, the Alabama transfer. And the N1 opportunity. That's on Chad Venning. And that will bring us to a timeout. South Carolina having quite a night with a 17-point lead in Chestnut Hill. ACC men's basketball is presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. Some celebrities in the house. Bill O'Brien, first-year BC football coach, riding high after the Eagles won 3 of their last 4. Brad Stevens, Celtics president with Mike Zarin, general manager. Brad Stevens was coached by Lamont Paris when Lamont Paris was an assistant at Division III DePauw in Indiana, and he said Brad Stevens was reliable, and that was a great trait.
He also said he was part of a fraternity. He gave us a little background on
Yes,
it.
he did.
He's like, hey, don't let the quiet demeanor fool you. He was a part of a fraternity, something a lot of folks may not have known about, but they've remained close, and his team got to get a chance to get over to the practice facility, check that out, and what an experience for them when they get a chance to get on the road to have an experience like that.
Yeah, to a man, they all said it was fantastic. We spoke to Colin Murray Boyles about that. He was just awed by being around that atmosphere. Brad Stevens and Mike Zarin, the Celtics brain
I can't
trust.
see Brad in a fraternity.
Neither
He doesn't
can I.
seem like a frat type guy.
Do you think he's Flounder from Animal House? Yes, Donald Hand, the fadeaway. And I guarantee you they're looking at Colin Murray Boyles. I'm sure they're looking at other players, but that's a guy that really flashes.
Yeah, he is. And again, it's really, he's under control, plays within himself. He's not a flashy player. And I think he's deceptively athletic in terms of, again, he's a guy that has a quick first step, certainly can finish, but I've been impressed with his rebounding.
Kelly on the drive, and a foul. That's on Jamari Thomas, his third. He's his night, 1 for 8 from the floor, but he's a stabilizing presence on both ends, isn't he?
He really is. And again, I think that's really been the theme that I've seen with South Carolina. They really focus on the defensive end, and then they're anchored by a guy right now that has a double-double in Murray Boyles, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and we still have 14 minutes to play in the second half.
Good pass to Dion Brown on the inbounds. Dion Brown's from Great Barrington, Massachusetts. That's at the end of the turnpike. Took his talents to UMBC. And a foul on Donald Hand. Our ACC Network crews will be in Charlotte for the ACC Championship game between Clemson and SMU. Our preview coverage begins Friday afternoon at 3 Eastern with Inside Access, followed by ACC PM and ACC Huddle. And on game day, we'll have you covered before, during, and after the game. Chaz Kelly. Cross court, Elijah Strong. He's from Charlotte, went to Myers Park High School. Up and under by Hastings. Nice move, but could not convert.
That's a missed opportunity. Again, one of the few looks they had clean at the basket.
Bump on the drive by Wright.
Well, again, right here, again, nice move by Strong, not to settle for the jumper. And then this right here, this has got to be a finish. Just unable to convert, and then South Carolina gets out in transition.
14th foul on the Eagles. That was on Hastings' first with Jacoby Wright at the line. Fred Payne replaces Donald Hand. Payne has been an instigator off their bench as an offensive player. 18 points in their win against Missouri State, the Cayman Islands. And Bill Grant loves him because he's determined and he works hard, and there's that word again, he's reliable.
Well, I think the big thing they're going to need right now is a boost off the bench. Right now, nothing really has gone right for Boston College. They need a spark from somebody that gets into this game.
Good pass, but an errant tip by Hastings. So the drive by Payne. Good idea, right?
Well, the play was set up. Again, nice little set action. Just the pass was a little off. Another missed opportunity at the rim.
Eagles have had trouble converting to high percentage shots this year. Great pass. But Murray Boyles, a rare miss. Chaz Kelly, hounded by Jacoby Wright. Kelly trying to back in, and he picks up the foul on Wright.
South Carolina foul number 1, Jacoby Wright. That's his second personal foul.
Chad Venning in foul trouble for BC. That's problematic. He has 4.
At the line,
He exits with a team-high 12 points. Think about what BC lost. Jaden Zachary playing at Clemson. He was such a great influence on both ends of the floor. Chaz Kelly trying to pick up the slack. He knows he has to be a better offensive player as he misses the first, but attacking the basket at the rim is down 52%. And they are getting the line more, but that's down, Malcolm, on those high percentage shots.
Well, I think part of it is, again, when you lose a player like Quentin Post, guy that can stretch the floor, a 7-footer, and some of the other guys they had. You talked about Jaden Zachary, Claudel Harris at Mississippi State, Devin McLaughlin at Vanderbilt. I think when you lose 80% of your offense,
Yeah.
you got to bring guys in to try to replace them. I think the problem right now, though, for them, defensively, they've been unable to stop South Carolina, and then offensively, really have struggled to get any offensive flow.
Yeah, cohesion is an issue on both ends of the floor. Punched away for a moment by Strong. In the waning stages, they give him the three for the moment. Big time shot by Zachary Davis.
And everything going right for South Carolina. I think he got it off in real time. I'm going to take a look at it right here. Again, Boston College gets them deep into shot clock.
Think he got it off in time?
Yeah, from that angle, again, little block, but from my vantage point, watching it live, it looked like he got it off in time. Again, right here. Yeah, that ball is out of his hands.
Yes, it is.
And I think that is a three.
So it is good for Zachary Davis, his first three of the night. That's the fourth for the Gamecocks in 12 attempts. We asked Daryl Grant about all the exits. Who was the most influential in his mind outside of Quentin Post? And his answer was Devin McLaughlin, who's at Vanderbilt. McLaughlin was developing into a supreme offensive player.
Yeah, well, those days are out again with all this movement. I think right now for Boston College, again, you got a huge mountain to climb. You're down 46-28. Again, continue to be patient offensively. Again, they need more ball reversals. That's a tough shot contested in the lane.
South Carolina has led for more than 22 minutes. Bozeman, Verdonk, maneuvering and fouled. Traveling violation for the contact, they say. BC ball.
And right here, again, looks like he just pulled the chair out. Again, he's playing defense, and then, okay.
Perplexed, to say the least.
Yeah, and LeVon Paris not happy with that call.
No.
Let's see if Boston College could try to figure out this South Carolina defense. Again, look how aggressive they are on dribble handoffs.
Brown, the fadeaway. Air ball. Payne's got it. 5 on the shot clock. Beadle. Doubled. In and out, Strong. Industrious. And we have a timeout on the floor after a foul. So the Eagles trailing by 18. It's been all Gamecocks at County Forum. From an inspiration standpoint, he has so many stories, and he's fighting his own fight. You hear every day, Malcolm, about just some brutal stories, but people just fighting and fighting and fighting.
Yeah, and prayers for Dickie V himself, too, fighting his own fight against cancer. And look, what he's done for the game of basketball, yes, Hall of Fame, that's great, but even more so what he's done for raising money and awareness for cancer and cancer research. And I think the key thing to that message is 100% of your proceeds go to cancer research. Just phenomenal what he's been able to do.
No question. Fight continues. BC down by 16. See Ole Miss and Louisville coming up next. Wes Durham and Dan Bonner standing by to bring you that one. A much improved Louisville squad. Pat Kelsey in his first year. Good defense by the Eagles. Scott, the fadeaway, beats the shot clock. Rebound for Elijah Strong. Cam Scott, prolific high school scorer in South Carolina. Over 2,400 career points. Strong. Too strong with Stute in the board.
Well, plenty of time, 10:51. Again, Earl Grant talked about this patience. They got to get ball reversals, get better screening, but be patient. Still plenty of time. Again, it feels like they're down 30. They're only down now 19. But again, they just got to do a better job Defensively, obviously, that's too easy, but then offensively, you got to have more patience against this excellent South Carolina defense.
Ugasuk with his second 3 of the game. Eagles at 29% for the field. Beadle driving. And a wild shot, but effective for Joshua Beadle, the Clemson transfer, and an N1.
I'm not even sure he was looking at the basket on this. Let's check and see. Right here, again, take the hit through contact. That is great body control. And his eyes, I am corrected, his eyes never left the rim. That is a tough finish. Not sure how he got to get that one to go. He was falling down. Flipped it up with nice touch.
Looked like Malcolm Huckabee back in the
I could
day.
never do that.
These rims were kind to you at County Foreign. Beadle, after the foul was on Ugasuk, his first. Beadle's been a nice addition. Had trouble cracking the lineup at times for Brad Brownell at Clemson, and more aggressiveness off the glass for Beadle. The foul's on Jacoby Wright, or Zachary Davis, rather. That's his second. How about the last 2 games for Beadle? 74%, that game-winning 3 against Boise State in the Cayman Islands.
And I think the spark he has provided, his ability to break down defenses, obviously can create his own shot. And you talked about it. He's already played in the ACC, so it's not like a guy coming from a different league. Obviously, was behind Chase Hunter in that situation. Joe Girard came in a year after, so his minutes were limited, but
right.
They're expecting big things from him at Boston College.
Thomas for Murray Boyles. He sees missed 6 of its last 7 shots. It's been a recurring theme for them. Gamecocks have capitalized. Ugasuk, the 3-pointer. He's got impressive range.
Well, he does, and again, that's a breakdown by Boston College. Again, last season, he was 29%. For this season, he's at 44% from the 3-point line. You must find him. That's just great execution. But again, poor recognition by Boston College. That's too much airspace.
Roger McFarland, nice touch in the paint for the Southeast Louisiana transfer.
And now Errol Grant changing up his defense. They're extending their pressure. Let's see if this can bother the South Carolina offense. Again, right now it's just been comfortable for them. They've gotten anything they've wanted in the half court.
Yeah, Ugasuk has 7 threes his last 2 games, 3 tonight, 4 against Virginia Tech. Also at 18 points, career best against Indiana on November 16th. Cross court for Stute. The Vandy transfer capitalizes. South Carolina 4 of 5 on 3-pointers this half. It's their largest lead of the game at 20.
You cannot ask for better half-court execution. Dribble, drive, and kick it out right here. The spacing excellent, unselfish with the ball. South Carolina continues to roll.
Well, jam-packed basketball on the ESPN family of networks. And how about this, Malcolm Huckabee? The SEC ACC Men's Challenge. You have 16 games featuring 11 AP top 25 teams. You have to win 9 to win it. Games ongoing on the ESPN family of networks. Miami with a 5-point lead. Georgia blitzing Notre Dame, and Tennessee in command over Syracuse. And then there's Cal, Missouri, and a nip and tuck affair coming up later. You can go home and watch all sorts of basketball, all of them great games.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by all these matchups. That Kentucky, though, Clemson game, I think that is one to watch out for. That backcourt of Clemson, led by Chase Hunter, one of the best. And Joshua Beadle, though, one of the few clean looks they've had that time. Beadle showing off the hops.
A blow-by. Rattling the rim, 5 for Beadle. Murray Boyles skips a pass that Stute can't handle.
And one of the few times miscommunication by South Carolina right here on the screen. And then Beadle's able to go down and get an uncontested dunk. That's something we have not seen much of in this game.
Eagles much better on the offensive end in the second half. That's not saying much, I know, but they are trailing 19-18 in the second half after getting outscored 36-19 in the first. Roger McFarland looking for Beadle.
Just look where they have Boston College running their offense.
Yep.
They're just keeping everything out of the paint.
McFarland ran into a roadblock and throws it away. His hand can't track it down. That brings us to another timeout. South Carolina trying to go to 5-3 has been outstanding. Leads BC by 18, but the last time these two teams met was New Year's Day 2011. BC got the better of the Gamecocks 85-70. Two faces you may remember playing this one. South Carolina 2 Sports star Bruce Ellington, BC's Reggie Jackson. They both went on to professional sports careers. Ellington, the NFL career with 44 games as a wide receiver, and Jackson still in the NBA with Philadelphia. He's had a terrific NBA career, but BC wins that game by 15 points, and Jackson, one of the more explosive players to wear a BC uniform.
But how about those two guys, the careers that they have had, one going on to the NFL, and Reggie Jackson, as you said, still playing 2011 NBA draft. He was the 24th overall pick by Oklahoma City, and wow, what a run he has had.
Ellington is coaching basketball and football in South Carolina since retiring from the NFL. Murray Boyles tries to go to the rack. Here comes Donald Hand with a three-pointer in transition, and he's got it. Donald Hand, BC's overall leading scorer, but just 7 this evening. That's his first 3. The Eagles with a little bit more momentum in the second half. Stute silences that.
Every time Boston College has tried to cut this deficit and get closer to single digits, South Carolina has answered. Again, that's just too much airspace. Stute made them pay again.
Beadle zips a pass for Venning, who's dealing with foul trouble after 12 first half points, but he dealt with 4 fouls. 5 for 6 on threes for the Gamecocks in the second half. 8 for 16 overall. Jacoby Wright back in the game for South Carolina.
And because South Carolina has done a great job breaking down, again, the help is over-helping. Stute, again, he's the one guy in the scouting report. You have to be there on the catch.
Stute's hit 7 threes in his last 4 games. Davis inside Pringle, the left-hand shot. Here comes Donald Hand. His father was a star in Virginia in the late 90s. Beadle at the elbow. Nifty move, but frustrated by Davis. Here comes the Gamecocks.
Well, watch South Carolina. They run a lot of side ball screens.
And Davis is fouled. It's on Josh Beadle, his second. Yeah, that's what Lamont Paris told us today. If we're effective, the side ball screens are working.
Yeah, and they've moved the ball as well, too. Again, the reversal. Again, they've had the ball moving left to right. Their bigs have done an excellent job setting screens to free up the wings and guards. And then they've gotten high percentage shots pretty much all game. You look at the numbers, they are not lying. For South Carolina, close to 50% from the floor.
There's Lamont Paris, and he's wearing a quarter zip, which is not unusual. If you are watching this game in Columbia, South Carolina, and you see Lamont Paris out and about in the community, it's 100 degrees in the summer, he's still wearing a quarter zip.
Yeah, I couldn't do that right there unless I was trying to drop some LBs, but he has been cool, calm, and collected. His team really has executed. They're at 50% from the three-point line as well, too. They've made 8.
Impressive how he just goes to the closet for more quarter zips. An endless supply. Venning, an air ball. Murray Boyles just exhorting confidence on both ends of the floor. Fadeaway right, rattles in and out. Chanda, too strong for the freshman. BC has a few of those that they're high on in their freshman class. Good take by Davis. That was too easy. A one-step at the jam.
Yeah, they're right now playing fatigue, Boston College, and that's mainly because of this defensive pressure. It's been relentless by South Carolina. Look at it. Thomas has been the key for this.
Largest lead of the game for the Gamecocks. Kelly comes up shy. Yeah, you can see the fatigue definitely setting in.
And nobody on the offensive glass. And then on this end right here, it's really been a clinic in terms of running your half-court sets and then getting high percentage shots at the end.
Sunday afternoon, our ACC Network women's basketball triple header starts at noon Eastern with number 10 Notre Dame taking on Syracuse. Then SMU squares off against Florida State. We finish up with number 8 Duke hosting Virginia Tech. Another fun day of basketball on ACC Network. Long night for Earl Grant, the fourth-year BC coach. Upward trajectory for the Eagles going to the NIT last year. Upward trajectory for South Carolina, winning 25 games, going to the NCAA tournament, making a run, the best since 2017 when they went to the Final Four. But Earl Grant still says, you know, we're still trying to build something here after losing so much last year. He still doesn't know what he has.
No, he doesn't. And again, he's trying to figure out rotations that work. I can tell you one thing, though, again, on the other side, South Carolina, Thomas, to me, has been key. Again, he hasn't scored a bunch of points, but his defensive pressure, I really think, set the tone in this game, keeping the BC guards out of the paint.
Dion Brown. So Brown has 6. Definitely a guy that BC needs to shine in ACC play. And a block in the post, but a foul on the Eagles. So a 21-point lead, matching the largest of the game for the Gamecocks. By T. Rowe Price, invest with confidence. Time now for tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Continental Tire. Colin Murray Boyles, Malcolm Huckabee, second double-double, and he has exerted his will on both ends.
Yeah, and he's just does it in such an efficient way. Again, very under control right here, knocking down the 3. His ability to finish at the rim, impressive. But for me, this is what has impressed me the most. His ability to rebound the ball, another isolation. Again, he's just a guy that plays very under control, and it's very easy to see why he leads the SEC in field goal percentage. Came into this game 63% from the floor, and he's just so efficient. He had another efficient outing tonight on the road at Boston College.
Yeah, we asked him who he admired in the NBA. He said, you know what? I don't really admire anybody specifically. I just admire the Oklahoma City Thunder for the way they play. You can appreciate that, right?
Really, and you know, appreciate how that young man also speaks, spending time with him. Very humble.
Yeah.
Talked about a lot about the impact that his brother had on him, and again, you can see why he is a guy that the coaching staff and Coach Paris, they know he is going to be a guy that play at the next level.
There's James and Colin Murray Boyles. His brother has been someone he's looked up to his entire life. And look at the young Murray Boyles donning the 23 Lakers jersey.
I love it. And that, you love seeing those old school pictures. You can tell that's big bro looking out for a little brother. You love seeing that type of story. And again, just an impressive performance, and the ceiling for him, and you can see the future very bright for that young man. Again, does it on both ends. And very rarely you talk about guys rebounding, kind of a throwback.
Yeah.
But he really enjoys defending and also rebounding.
Lamont Paris says he's drawing a lot of interest in NBA circles. Also making a good point, though. If you're going to the NBA now, it's not like the old days, as he said, when he was draft eligible. His Butler hits his first three of the night. Only played a couple minutes, but Butler, transfer from Missouri, adding to the three-point parade. They're sixth in the second half in 7 attempts. Luka Taves for BC is harassed by Thomas, and a foul. Largest lead of the game for the Gamecocks. Around the SEC ACC Men's Challenge presented by Continental Tire. A good one with Miami and Arkansas. And what do you make of Syracuse struggling against one of the best teams in the country?
Well, I tell you what, again, you take a look at some of the numbers, but the upcoming games as well, too. Key moment, critical challenge for the ACC to try to put a dent in some of those Selection Sunday voters. They're going to have eyes on this as well, too.
And the net ratings have not been kind in the first month for the ACC teams. So, first to 9 wins the SEC ACC Challenge. A plethora of games for you coming up in the next couple days on the ESPN family of networks. Right. And a double team. Taves takes it away. BC playing with 2 point guards in the backcourt, Kelly and Taves. And Kelly draws the foul.
South Carolina foul number 0, Jordan Butler. That's his second personal foul. Team's 10th foul.
Here's your top 25 involved in the challenge. Auburn loaded. Between Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, Duke, and Alabama, many felt like coming into the season was a national championship contender. A lot of good teams on that list.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it shows the strength of these conferences. I think the big thing for this challenge, in particular, again, you look at, we talked about it, the success that the ACC has had in the postseason. But it's been proven, again, early on, these games matter for the amount of teams that are put into the tournament. I think that's the significance of this and why this challenge is so important.
An impressive group from Columbia, South Carolina. Methodical, very well coached, extremely composed. Steal by Donald Hand and the slam dunk. So credit BC for playing throughout this ballgame.
Well, again, this is something coaches are looking for. Obviously, game clearly in hand for South Carolina.
Right.
But if you're Earl Grant, you're looking at this tape. Who's going to continue to try to fight?
They're fighting still. Jamari Thomas with the 3.
And I would give him almost a co-MVP. And again, it's because of his pressure on the ball. I think that set the tone in this game. Again, his ability to get up and pressure, and he created havoc on the Boston College offense.
Yeah, he's a floor general. He's only 2 for 9, 1 for 4 from 3, but he has 5 assists. Jamari Thomas, the EAC Player of the Year last year for Norfolk State. That's an adjustment. You come to a Power 4 school. You know the level of play is different, but he certainly looks like he's no worse for the wear.
No, absolutely. And I think, again, he's got a strong build. Coach Paris and staff talk about it. I think the biggest thing he brings, his ability to apply pressure and set that defense, really, I think, has been key in this game. It set the tone early.
Good job by Kenny Shanda. Freshman getting some valuable experience. Scott. Ball movement. Impressive by the Gamecocks. And continued hustle. The 50-50 ball and a jump ball as Nick Pringle hit the deck, and that's just pure effort. Possession towards South Carolina. We have Ole Miss and Louisville in our crosshairs with Wes Durham and Dan Bonner standing by at the KFC Yum Center. And I know you love what Louisville's done in Pat Kelsey's first year.
Absolutely. Again, huge game for Louisville to continue to try to bolster their resume.
And Georgia has beaten Notre Dame, so they have the first point on the board. SEC 1-0 over the ACC. They need 8 more to clinch. Venning with his 5th foul. He will exit. 0 second-half points for Chad Venning. He was 6 for 12 from the field, 6 rebounds in 26 minutes. And that's a guy that's going to be a main influence for BC if they're going to have any success this year.
Yeah, he did. He had it going end of first half, did some really good things. I think he got fatigued. Again, credit South Carolina. 2 things they did. They put him in a lot of ball screens. It's talked about ball reversals. They put him inside ball screens, made him come out on the perimeter. And then defensively, they really forced him outside of the paint. Again, he was catching the ball in that first half, really in the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game in the paint. That changed in the second half where they were able to push him further away from the basket.
Austin Hero checks in for South Carolina. He's put on scholarship by the start of the summer workouts. His brother Tyler, star at Kentucky, playing for the Heat, 2022 NBA 6th Man of the Year. What a player he is. Donald Hand with a drive and a foul. That's on Hero. He's only played 14 minutes this year, but Tyler Hero is a walking bucket off the bench. And with the miss. Earl Grant said for BC to have success tonight, they're going to have to out-tough them. They're going to have to outwork them. They had to be relentless. South Carolina was fit to the cause.
Yeah, I think, and I think offensively, patience. Again, Earl Grant talked about it. They needed to be good screeners in this game. That did not happen. Credit South Carolina. And then on the other side, Lamont Paris again. Besides the one hiccup early on, their only 2 losses were to top 25 teams. It was about as impressive defensive performance that I've seen thus far. They really start to finish dominated this game with their defense.
Yep, BC trailed by 5 with 7 minutes left the first half, and a 14-2 run ended it. There's the control that South Carolina had. So South Carolina improves to 5-3. They drop the Eagles to 6-3. For Malcolm Huckabee, I'm John Mita Perel saying good night from Connie Form and Chestnut Hill. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. SEC-ACC Challenge continues as we head to Louisville, where the Cardinals are hosting Ole Miss. Wes Durham and Dan Bonner. Take it away, gentlemen.